From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
This is a WFT News Update. I'm Alexis Greaves.
And I'm Comber-Wilen. Thank you for joining us. Senate Democrats are out with a new proposal to tax billionaires as a way to partially fund a massive social spending bill. The wealthiest Americans would owe taxes on capital gains like stocks on a yearly basis instead of when sold. The tax would target fewer than 800 of the country's wealthiest citizens, but could raise $200 billion in taxes. In addition to people with more than $1 billion in assets, the tax would also kick in after anyone earns $100 million a year for 3 straight years.
While Pfizer awaits the all-clear from government regulators, it is busy producing pediatric doses of its COVID-19 vaccine. An FDA panel approved the use of a lower dose in children aged 5 to 11, but the CDC must also give its final stamp of approval. The Pfizer 1/3 doses will ship with specifically marked orange lids, and millions of vials are ready to roll. The Biden administration has ordered 65 million pediatric doses just from Pfizer. Moderna is also seeking approval of a half dose of its vaccine for children aged 6 to 11. COVID isn't the only pandemic that people are worried about these days. For some, food insecurity is the silent pandemic. In Gainesville, it's said thousands only have access to unhealthy food or no food at all. WFT's Nicole shows us how the Fresh Access Bucks program is one piece people believe will help solve the puzzle.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of food insecure individuals in the U.S. has risen to over 50 million. 50,000 of those people reside in 7 different areas of Alachua County that are identified as food deserts. One of the effects of having low access to healthy food and high access to unhealthy food is that people are eating a lot of calories, but not getting the nutrients their bodies need to thrive.
One of the things that's been happening, which doctors had never seen before, is we're having cases where people have obesity, but they're malnourished.
According to Dr. Campbell, local food banks and food pantries have reported a 500% increase in demand over the past year.
It created a situation where people who never needed food assistance or gone to a food bank before were doing so, and that demand has persisted for the year 18 months since COVID-19 happened.
The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is just one of the ways to help families and individuals get their groceries. But according to Dr. Campbell,
most people buy most of their unhealthy food at grocery stores.
Nicole Farm is one of the few local farms here in Gainesville that allows you to use your SNAP benefits. And when you do, you'll be able to double your dollars.
Facilitator of the Food Systems Coalition of Greater Gainesville, Carissa Raskin, says through the Fresh Access Bucks program, individuals have the opportunity to get healthier food by utilizing farmers markets in Alachua County.
Let's say, for example, somebody had received $15 of SNAP benefits. Rather than going to a grocery store where they might be able to get $15 worth of food, if they went to a farmer's market and purchased Florida-grown food, they would actually receive $30 worth of Florida-grown food.
The Fresh Access Bucks program has extended the unlimited match until December 31st. Nicole, WUFT News.
You know, Violet, when I woke up this morning, it was chilly. I hope it's going to stay that way.
Yeah, I've noticed during the last few days of October, I've been pretty chilly too. Now we turn to WUFT's Zoey Robinson in the Weather Center for an update. Zoey?
Yeah, that chilly weather is expected to stick around and could even get cooler throughout the weekend. But before that, we do have a chance for severe weather tomorrow. Before that, though, conditions today looking gorgeous. Plenty of sunshine out here across campus. Do have a few clouds, but overall it was a fantastic day outside. Notice we even have a few high altitude cirrus clouds, and that actually sometimes indicates a change in the weather, and that will happen tomorrow. Nevertheless, temperatures sitting in the low 70s as we head throughout the rest of the evening and bottoming out in the low 60s overnight tonight. Tomorrow, though, is when we will see the greatest risk for strong storms, mainly during the afternoon here in north central Florida. Starting out early in the morning, about possibly when you could be on your commute, the Gulf Coast could see a strong possible few cells of scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head throughout the rest of the day. Notice this warm front continues to track across the peninsula, and with that, associated with that low pressure system, triggering up widespread activity all the way from the Florida-Georgia border to Sarasota. As that warm front passed through, it's going to trigger up lots of warm, moist Gulf air, and that's helping to fuel these showers as this cold front continues to track closer towards that warm front. A squeezing effect will occur, and that's where we could see the greatest risk for severe weather. Behind that, though, clearing out as we head into the overnight hours. Almost the entire Florida state is under a severe weather risk for tomorrow. Notice all of north central Florida under a slight risk. And what that means is the primary hazards associated with tomorrow's weather will be damaging winds and isolated tornadoes. So please stay updated as we head throughout the rest of the day tomorrow. On the back side of that front, though, notice highs on Friday only climbing to the low 70s in some areas. Could even stay cooler in the upper 60s across the Live Oak area. If you're headed out to Jacksonville on Saturday for the Florida-Georgia game, fantastic weather. Temperatures only cracking into the upper 60s, possibly the low 70s. So great weather, lots of sunshine. It could be a little bit breezy, so maybe bring a jacket if you are headed out to the game. And then on Halloween on Sunday, fantastic weather once again. If you're headed out early, maybe to the pumpkin patch, I would bring a sweater. It will be in the low 40s in the morning and then slowly warming up. But once again, highs only climbing to the low 70s during the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine and then cooling just in time for trick-or-treating. But before all that great weather, we do, though, have to remind that we have a strong chance for some cells to be pretty strong tomorrow as that cold front passes through. And then on the back side of that front, could see a few spotty showers on Friday, but nowhere near as severe on Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, gorgeous weather, lows bottoming out in the 50s and highs only in the low 70s. Back to you.
COVID-19 presented physical and economic challenges for everyone, and now the focus is shifting to mental health, particularly that of children. Meridian Clinical Director Amy McCoggin says she noticed an increase in young patients at Meridian. Meridian provides mental health treatment and services across north central Florida. She says as children return to their pre-pandemic routines, many are struggling to transition back to normalcy. They are dealing with anxiety and depression, and some are resorting to substance abuse or self-harm. McCoggin says children's time away from peers negatively impacted their development, especially their social development. This, along with exposure to family death and illness and the looming uncertainty of the pandemic, is slowing their ability to readjust.
We're raising a new generation that is trying to adapt to a pandemic world, and mental health is going to be more of a priority in the future.
McCoggin says parents should create an open line of communication with their kids and take notice of any abnormal behavior.
The Florida Museum of Natural History partners with a local brewing company to raise money for monarch butterflies. UF butterfly researcher Jarrett Daniels partnered with First Magnitude Brewing Company for this initiative. Restore the Reign of the Monarch is a conservation project that aims to work with breweries across the country to counteract declines in the monarch butterfly population. Daniels says adding beer to butterfly research allows him to capture the attention of people who wouldn't normally visit the Florida Museum.
So it's just kind of meeting people where they are in a unique and fun way. And if they can, have a beer, support butterfly conservation, it's a win-win.
The beer is called Rain, a name Daniels thinks fits the initiative, and First Magnitude will provide its recipe to any breweries willing to participate. A percentage of proceeds will go toward rebuilding monarch breeding habitats. The museum's goal is to raise enough to plant 1 million milkweeds.
Welcome to sports. I'm Harrison Smajovits. For the second time this season, the Florida Gators are set to face the #1 team in the nation. First it was Alabama, this time it's Georgia. The Gators head to Jacksonville for the annual game with the Bulldogs. Both teams were on bye last week, but they couldn't be farther apart in terms of how their last few games have gone. Florida has dropped 2 of their last 3, while Georgia remains undefeated and is crushing opponents. Florida head coach Dan Mullen talked about the depth that makes Georgia successful.
They have depth that they rotate guys in, and every guy that comes in, they bring in. They have some big physical guys, and a lot of them in their front seven.
The Gators enter the game as 14-point underdogs to the Bulldogs. Santa Fe High School is moving on in the volleyball playoffs after a strong showing in the first round. Santa Fe swept Pensacola in the opening round of the regionals, and none of the sets were close. The scores were 25-7, 25-11, and 25-3. The first-seeded Raiders now advance to the regional semifinal and will host Yulee. That match is set for November 2nd at 7 p.m. The Braves look to keep the momentum going in Game 2 of the World Series. The Braves took the first game in Houston 6-2. Jorge Soler got things started on the third pitch of the series when he hit a leadoff homer off Astros starter Framber Valdez. Atlanta was up 5-0 after just 3 innings. Key Astros bats were kept quiet, including Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman, who went a combined 0 for 9. Max Fried will take the ball to start Game 2 for Atlanta, while Houston will turn to Jose Urquidy. The Orlando Magic look to get back on track when they face the Charlotte Hornets. The Magic are coming off a loss to the Miami Heat. This was the third time in their last 4 games that Orlando was held to less than 100 points. The Hornets are coming off a win against the Brooklyn Nets. In the shortened season last year, the Magic went 1-2 against the Hornets and still remain without Jonathan Isaac, Markelle Fultz, and Michael Carter-Williams. And that's your look at sports.
That's our show for today. Thanks for catching up with us on Facebook. Our TV news operations are limited this month as we train with new technology.
But we'll be back on Facebook often and will eventually return to TV Channel 5. In the meantime, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.